Welcome to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming with your hosts, Taylor
and Q.
Nuclear launch detected.
90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming does not represent the views of WWSP, 90 FM, or the University of Wisconsin school system. The views expressed and the information given in this broadcast can be used at the sole risk of the listener.
Listening to this broadcast is guaranteed to increase your wisdom by 5 points.
The Enrichment Center is required to remind you that you will be baked, and then there will be cake.
Hey, listen!
Hello, and welcome to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming here on WWSP Stevens Point. We are a video game talk show. We cover video games, obviously. Video game culture, video game players, video game developers, video game publishers, video game merchandise occasionally, I would assume. I don't remember any specific occasions.
The history of video games?
Yes, we do history of video games. And we didn't make it to the museum over the summer when the Smithsonian
No,
was doing
I really wanted to go to that.
I know, but I mean, it turns out it's kind of hard to reach the Smithsonian on a whim.
Yeah.
Yes. Anywho, I am Taylor. I am the first of the two hosts here on 90 Terabytes. The second host being
Q.
And our special guest this week. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, world. This is Mark, friend of both Taylor and Q.
Yes.
Have you
Actually,
ever been
former
on our
roommate.
show?
No, I have not, because summer I had work. Last semester
We
I
did
had
illuminate
class.
the halls of Prey Sims, though, because we were played during the office hours, or not office hours,
Yes.
whatever it was that you were doing.
It was always on.
Yes, free
All
airtime.
summer.
Yes, you can hear us in many places. Yes, you're listening to WWSP. It's Stevens Point. This is 90 FM. Obviously, listening to 9 terabytes of alternative gaming is what we call our show. You can like us on Facebook.
Yes.
That'd be really cool if you would, because we would love for you to talk with us about the show while we're doing the show.
Makes the show go much more smoothly,
90 terabytes of alternative gaming. There's no other show named that anywhere.
which is true. Yes.
Where-
And there's also, did we figure out, is that one other radio video game
Yeah,
show even
they-
existing anymore?
Yeah.
Okay, they do still exist. All right, we should contact them at some point. Do
A
like a
rivalry?
either do a rivalry or like a union show. Do a phone interview between us.
Phone
Aren't they in like
interview.
Tucson or Phoenix and they're huge? Well, there's Video Game 24/7 and that's on like Sirius or
Wait,
something.
are they huge though?
They're in Tucson, so they have a fairly big listener base, I would assum.
A fairly
mean they're
big,
big.
yeah. They have a fairly big available listener base. There are tiny radio stations in Tucson.
Percentage-wise, I think we probably have more listeners.
Per capita?
Yeah,
Yeah, actual available listeners.
we need to break down the stats for this.
Thank you, listeners. You're awesome.
You are awesome. Do we want to start up on a story here, or
We have many things
continue
we can
our
talk about. Continue our
shenanigans?
banter.
Our
and
shenanigans.
Yeah, we can go right into the first story. What do you have right there on the top of the list there, bud?
Well, real quick mention, again, because we love talking about this because it's an awesome deal and it's just for a good cause. We're going to talk about the Humble Indie Bundle again. This is the Humble Frozen Byte Bundle 2,
yes.
which is the fourth?
Fourth or fifth.
I think
one.
it's the fourth Humble
Now,
Indie Bundle.
You're listening to us right now, and I can,
Oh, no, it's the fifth.
I can tell you this. By the end of our show, you will no longer get the Humble Bundle. You have 55 minutes.
Oh!
55
I might have to
minutes
buy it
and
on air then, because I was going to
55
buy it.
seconds.
Hurry, run.
No, we'll buy it during the commercial.
Yes, we should do that. Yes, otherwise I'm
The
going
Humble Frozen Synapse bundle comes with 3 games. Frozen Synapse, which is a fantastic game. I played it for a little while. We'll talk about the 3 games in a second. Space Chem, which is an amazing game also. And Trauma, which I've heard good and medium reviews from.
I plan on playing that like pretty much tomorrow, and I can try to do a review for the next
If
show.
you give charity more than $4.82, you will get 5 more games, which were in the previous Humble Frozen Byte bundle. Trine, Shadowground Survivor, Shadowground, a pre-order for Splot, and Jack Claw.
But the pre-order for Splot was a pre-order about, a year ago.
Yeah, they're
So-
still making the game.
Yeah.
They're an independent developer. They're
Yeah.
not the biggest company on the planet. I think they have like 10 or 15 people, I would think.
Yeah.
But this is an absolutely fantastic deal. If you love giving money to charity, which I don't really know one who doesn't, love to
Bad
give
people,
money.
I would assume.
Yeah, I don't really know any bad people though. But the two charities, if you were to donate, if you wanted to get these games and wanted to donate to charity, the two charities are the EFF, which is the Electronic
Frontier Foundation.
Yes,
and they give like legal representation basically to people in need of it within the field
of electronics. It doesn't have to just be independent video game developers. It's basically they protect the individual rights of these people, so big Microsoft or big EA doesn't come along and steal their video game and make it for themselves.
Well, also I think it's there to prevent things like I know within like companies, a very large company can basically bully down a small company by just repeatedly filing suit against them because court fees eventually will just take them down.
Like
ZeniMax Media.
Hall directors like that.
Yeah.
He actually made a video game. He made basically what was Brutal Legend.
Legend.
The game
He's got the umlaut.
Brutal Legend. He had to do it for a class, and then his professor took it to like a conference, and basically the idea got stolen. And
wow.
He never saw a penny.
He should have contacted the
of
EFF.
$10.
Problem would have been solved.
The
The other one is Child's Play.
We've
Child's
talked
Play
about them.
is a fantastic charity. I don't think there are many charities that do what they can do with a little bit of money.
Yeah.
Because all the major video game companies give the video games to Child's Play for extremely cheap to give to children who are ill or terminally ill to play video games that I can have something fun to do while they're in chemo or etc.
Yeah. Which I mean, it's absolutely awesome,
and they've been around for a while. I believe they might have been started through the Penny Arcade stuff.
Really?
I think that's where it's from.
Penny Arcade has done some huge work.
But yeah, you
How
get
many
3
webcomics
games,
at a convention?
Frozen Synapse, Space Chem, and Trauma for whatever price you want to pay, which could be a penny, $1,000 fun dollars, $1 million fun dollars.
What's the top one at right now? Is Notch
the
there?
current top is a person named Crash Plan with 4,200 fun dollars.
Wow.
That's,
is Notch even on there right now?
Notch is in second place with 2,000 fun dollars.
Wow, he got super
and
one-upped.
third place with bronze, giving money to charity, I guess. It's a bronze medal for the most money gave to charity.
The average thing, right?
Yeah,
if
the
you
average.
get a certain average.
Yes, if it's what did you say? It was $4 or $4 fun dollars and some odd
82 fun cents. And you can get all 8 games.
So you go over the average.
You go over the average. You
go under it.
Then you get the current
you just get
bundle.
the first 3 games. And the current average price is for $4.82. But the total amount of money made for this one is the highest I have seen out of any of them. $1,110,386 fun dollars.
Jeez,
that's a lot.
Last I checked, what are they at? Like 250,000 sales? It's at the very top.
The amount of purchases are 230,459. 460.
Yeah, these get bigger every time, and it's absolutely
and that's
awesome.
Why we're telling you out there in the listening world, if you love charities, I'm assuming you do, and you love video games, which I'm assuming you're listening to our show if you're an actual listener, you love video games, so this is a great way if you wanted to donate to charity, plus get a bunch of games. I don't think there's any better.
Yep.
You can go to the charity's website, humblebundle.com, if you want to, obviously.
Yes.
Totally up to you.
Oh, by the way, on the same thing, we don't have this on the itinerary, but did you read about it? I think it's a Polish gaming company trying to fund their entire game with pre-orders, and they're trying to earn $1 million fun dollars through nothing but $1 fun dollar pre-orders.
So they're going to sell their game 1 million times.
That's their plan. It's honestly, the more I looked at it, the more it just seemed like a scam. But it was just crazy in general, no matter what.
A dollar to give into a
fun
scam
dollar
isn't that bad.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, but
it's not like you're paying in $100,000, 100,000 fun dollars for a scam. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Humble Frozen Byte bundle ends in 50 minutes. So if you did not get these games, you have 50 minutes if you want to.
Yes, if you desire these games.
Yes.
These grand games.
Yes, because they are fantastic. I've played Space Chem at length for a very long time. It so far right now is my favorite puzzle game of this year by far.
Yeah?
It's very, very cool. I know you can check it out on their website if you want to. Yeah.
Do you want to do an official review on Space Chem then? As long as we're in the topic.
Later time, or we'll have one of our listeners.
Okay.
But we don't really need to. You can get it for free, essentially.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right, well,
HumbleBundle.com. We'll move on to our next story.
yes, we have a block of potential reviews, but we'll get the one out of the way that we have a guest for, just so that we make sure we have enough time for that one. Mark, what game did you come in to review?
Well, I guess it would be Dark Souls.
You guess?
Which is probably one of the coolest games that I've played in a while, besides the first game in the same genre or whatever you want to call it, Demon Souls, which was only for PS3, but now they have extended it to the Xbox 360, which is what I have it for.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, it's basically it's a roguelike action RPG where you will die a lot. It's basically learn by death approach to games.
Yeah, I think somebody called it like a hack and slash RPG. It's essentially what it is.
Yep.
You get killed, you kill, end of story.
And you die a lot.
You die a lot. You die almost as many times as you kill people.
And from what I've heard, I know they did it a little bit in Demon Souls, but there's a lot of cliff combat just to make sure that you die all the time.
Oh, yeah. There are so many times where you basically have the length of your feet
to fight on.
To fight somebody who is twice as tall as you with a tail that's going to swing into you.
And then knock you off the edge.
I've been fighting drakes, and their wings actually like pick you up and put you over the edge. Like on accident. So it's like, well, this is wonderful. I love drakes. But it's definitely a fun game. I personally like it better than the first one. It's an open world now. It's not going to one place and then going to different levels. You basically have to travel everywhere. So there's no horses, no cars, no teleporting at all.
So it's like Oblivion?
A little bit, except in Oblivion you could teleport and had horses.
Yep.
So, I mean, 2 out of those 3 were negated.
Yeah.
Who's it made by?
Who's it made?
It's
the
From
game is
Software.
From Software, and they're the people who made all the Armored Core games and all the Demon Soul games, and the other ones I've never heard of. Kingsfield, Otogi, and Tenchu series.
I heard Tenchu before. I can't remember what it is, though. I think it was like a
fighter.
Yeah, I think it was a fighter.
But they're in Japan. They're a Japanese video game company, right? Centered in Tokyo, Japan, and actually founded in 1986. So they're one of the old ones.
Wow, I didn't know they were around that long.
The game was published here in America by Namco Bandai, which I still is amazed still exists.
Yeah. They still put out like weird little like off third-party Pac-Man games these days. So I mean, they've been doing stuff.
They probably
the
still
whole
have
time.
a fair bit of money. They can't have that many major employees. They're also centered in Tokyo, Japan. Namco Bandai merged together in 2006. Namco obviously made Pac-Man for those out there in the listening world who are new to our show. They've been around since the advent of video games.
They pretty much are one of the original companies.
Yeah. But Dark Souls, was released here in America on October 4th.
Yep.
Yep.
It's been a week.
Do you want to do anything along the lines of an official like score for it?
Sure, I can do that.
We give scores
to 3 decimal points.
3 decimal points.
Ooh.
So it's
on a scale of what
100.
to what?
1 to 100.
1 to 100 with 3.
0 to 100 actually. So
true.
Can you give something a 0?
I guess
can
after
give 0.111.
That's true.
Or something like that. You can give it less than 1. I don't think you can give it a 0.
Significant figures, but anyway.
Yeah.
We digress.
Science.
Apparently. I guess after 40 hours, I've probably put in about 40 hours so far, and I would say, within its genre and just games in general, I'd probably give it a 92.835.
835.
A little higher than those fractions that I know offhand. So
So what was it exactly?
93.825.
35.
835. That was
That's
close. Okay. All right.
Too high.
Too high?
But no.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just kidding. But no, I definitely love the game. If you like games where you have to go around killing big things and getting killed by them, definitely think that
This might
I
be
know
the
if
game
I
for
was
you.
me, I would
Yeah.
probably buy it again. Let's just say
Yes.
that.
You're gonna buy it again.
I probably would.
I will buy this game 3 times.
What happens when you do die in the game?
You go back to
so what
basically
happens
a
is-
checkpoint, right?
In the first one, what happened is you go back to like the beginning of the level. The new one is you go around lighting bonfires because the whole point of the game is light versus dark. So it's a lot of fire. So everything that's fire is usually good for you. So
Yeah.
bonfires is where you start. If you die, you go back to the bonfire. Another thing they changed was how you heal. instead of eating these weird grass
Yeah, they were like
things
they were
with,
like green herbs or
late
something
moon
like that.
and like
Oh yeah, it was
early-
grass. Yeah.
You don't chew grass anymore. You have flasks, and they're called Estus flasks. They basically have a potion in them.
Okay.
When you go to a bonfire, you can either go to the bonfire if you die. If you're below the number that it has, you just revert to that. It starts at 5, which basically starting game that'll heal your whole health.
Yeah, and as you level,
So-
that's when it increases, right?
What you can do is you go through the world, find special things. They'll make your flasks better. You can also kindle your bonfires.
Oh,
through
that's what it was. I remember.
Through humanity, which is kind of like in the first one where you had your body.
Yeah.
Now you can have humanity, which is you get your body and then you have extra humanity.
Which is you have to kill like a huge boss still, right?
Right.
Because normally you're actually dead in the game.
Right. There's usually 3. I think there's 3 ways now in this game that you can do it. You can usually kill a huge like demon or something. You can just certain enemies drop them like rats.
Just randomly
basically dire rats. That's their drop is humanity.
Very strange.
Yeah. And then
kill a rat, come back to life.
Then randomly after you fight a bunch of little stuff, you'll sometimes get it. Like I've died, and then hey, you have 1 humanity. Okay, sweet. That's also if you have your body, if you have humanity and you spend it. That's how you interact with the multiplayer online.
Okay.
You have to have a body to either invade someone's world or have someone come and help you in the world or help them in the world. Otherwise, you can only just see the little signs. You can put down little signs throughout the world with predetermined words.
Do they still have the little white phantoms where you can like see the people who are playing around you as
they're
they
not
like
white
die
anymore.
off?
They're just kind of like clear, like they're translucent, I
ghostish.
guess. Yeah. Yep. We definitely still have those.
All right.
Yeah. You kindle your bonfire, you get more flasks. It's pretty sweet. Because then you can just go to the bonfire near your boss, kindle it a bunch, so you have a lot more flasks.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be using a lot of flasks.
Now, when you like do the Kindle, does that apply like after you die and have lost your humanity? Do you still get more flasks as a
basically the bonfire? The bonfire is the bonfire. So, if you go to that bonfire and you have less than the amount that you would get, you gain that many.
To it. Okay.
Yep. So let's say you have 10 at that bonfire, it'll put you up to 10. If you go to a bonfire that, let's say, you can only have 5 at, if you have more, you just keep them.
Okay,
it's like
it
an
doesn't
item.
like drop you down.
Right.
Yeah.
Another cool thing is you don't have like an item burden. You have an equip burden, but you don't have an item burden. So
you can carry as much as you
want. So it's not like because basically every enemy drops something. So I carried 12 of these broken swords that these little minions had. So it's like, where can I put these? They give you a box now.
Yeah, I was about to say you can't sell in that game, right?
Nope, no selling.
Yeah,
no
which
selling.
Usually once you can't sell, there's no reason to put a weight cap on because that just becomes impractical.
Yep, the only currency throughout the whole game is souls, which you can buy stuff, you can level up, and there might be something else, but I think that's about it.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
Yes.
So, yeah.
All right, we have basically, it depends on how much time we plan on taking up for these next 2 things. We have 2 things to try to fit in between now and 5:30. Do we want to first do a review of Bastion, a game that I have been playing for the last couple of weeks, or try to talk about the new plans for Mass Effect 3's multiplayer?
Oh, I don't know. Any consensus from the
Yes,
others
how about
here?
the guests? You're the audience.
We have another guest that is joining us. If you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Hunter. I DJ on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do a general show on Thursdays and jazz sides on Tuesdays.
And he's actually been on the show before, I believe.
I
yeah,
think a couple times.
Yeah.
I think this is probably his 3rd time.
I've listened, so I know he's been on.
Yes, our resident expert. What do you guys want to hear about?
Well, we can talk about Mass Effect, or we got Bastion.
I played the demo of Bastion on Steam before.
Oh, well, that's enough people to talk about it.
Yes, one person is instantly enough. Well, Bastion was, as long as we're sticking on the theme, I guess. Actually, it's another action RPG where it's top down, whereas I guess Demon's Souls is basically like over the shoulder.
Yep.
But it's top down and very cartoony. It's a cell shaded one, but it's beautiful. The game is just absolutely gorgeous. It was made by, I think it was distributed by WB Games.
It's Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment.
Yep, and it was actually made by Supergiant Games, who I'd never heard of before.
It doesn't even have a Wikipedia entry.
Really? Wow. So I don't know if this is their first game or what.
This game is as indie as you can get right there.
Well, I mean, as long as you're working with Warner Brothers, you're not that indie.
Yeah.
But it is a new developer at the very least.
Tiny.
But the game was, I thought, amazing, actually, for what it was. It was a very small game, and I will say that for how short it was, I don't feel like I necessarily got my worth for it, because I believe I paid like $14 fun dollars on Steam to get it, and the game took me like 7 or 8 hours to beat. But I definitely did not 100% clear it. By no means. There's a lot of stuff to do, but basically the way it works is the entire world has basically ended when the game starts, and there's just a few people who manage to survive for random reasons, and the beginning of the game is you going around collecting people who are alive, and then you just kind of, your objective shifts a couple times through the game, and all that is basically what the entire story is, so I can't give that away.
What's cool about the game is that everything you do is narrated as you do it, which is awesome. So this game you have to play with the sound on, because the voice acting of it is awesome, and the storyline for what I played was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't as, like, I was told that it was an incredible storyline, like it was super deep and very immersive, and I will say that it was very good. And
not that immersive?
It was not that immersive, primarily because of how short the game was, though. I mean, you did not have enough time to do enough character development to make somebody really feel attached to the story. So I would say that was the only way they shot themselves in the foot. But Q, do you have the Wikipedia page open right now? What was the name of that voice actor? Because he was the only voice in the game. I think I heard 2 other voices in the whole thing very briefly. He said everybody's lines basically, but he was amazing. He did a absolutely great job. And he goes the whole game. And unlike where other games will have, like, you know, an announcer in like a sports game, he basically will never say the same thing twice.
He'll be like, and the hero awakens, and
like he narrates
particles
every
come
motion.
up and build
and
a
the first time you
pathway.
fall off the map, he'll narrate you fell off the map the first time. And like the first time he like psychs you out. He'll be like, and he falls to his death. Just kidding. And you like pop back up. But he won't do that again after that. Like once you've already had him say something, he does not continue to do it anymore. And I thought that was an awesome move by them, because then everything he's saying you're listening to, because you want to know what he's saying this time. It's never like, oh, it looks like he's, you know, yelling at me because I got hit by an enemy again. So that was incredibly well done, and it was basically the centerpiece of the game.
It makes you feel like you're actually like playing a book. Like
No, it was an interesting way to present a narrative, because it also eliminated, for the most part, cutscenes. There were a couple. But when they wanted to expose story, you could still be killing stuff.
Yeah, I despise cutscenes. Cutscenes just take away from the story.
Not in all cases. I think there's some games that it fits, but games like Half-Life do display where
it should be.
Where
Portal,
no cutscene can make an
Portal
amazing game.
did a very good job.
Yes.
There were no cutscenes.
But I don't think all games lend to it perfectly.
That's the
I think
design
a lot
process.
of third-person games would be goofy for it.
Start the design process.
Yeah, and I mean, also, how do you do that with games where there's like dialogue input and stuff like that? It would start getting goofy if there was never any time snapped away from gameplay.
Star Wars: The Old Republic does a fairly good job.
Really? Well,
it does not feel like I was in a cutscene.
Really?
No, because everybody who's running around you see running around you.
Okay, that's actually really cool.
Yeah, so
if
you got a friend there,
so.
you know, killing something, and you're talking to someone, you see that person killing someone. Well, it's a cutscene as you're talking to this person.
Wow,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Talk breaking NDA really bad right there.
Whatever. You've already done that to an extent that if you're not getting taken away, really?
Yeah, they let me back in.
Jeez. But for the actual gameplay itself, it's basically just your regular action RPG, very hack and slash, but there's a ton of weapons, which was kind of cool, and they let you. Which this is kind of rare, but they let you use any combination of weapons you want. Like, it's not like you get a melee weapon and a ranged weapon. If you want, and I did by the end, I just walked around with a musket and a rifle. Nice. That's all I had. I just, like, the musket functioned like a shotgun, and the rifle was for accuracy, and it worked perfectly. But if you don't want to have any range, you can also go for, like, there's a big hammer and a sword, and there's a fair number of weapons, and they're all upgradable. And I think they did a great job of that. But, like I said, the only downside, I think, was length. But that was kind of hard to ignore because it did make the story a little bit less impactful as it could have been. So overall, I'd probably give it, like,
there's a couple different endings, too.
Yes, there are. There are, I believe, like, there's 2 very distinctive endings.
Yeah.
And there's, like, 4 variations total.
Yeah.
I only did it once. Because it auto saves the game, so you can't save here and then load back right before the end of the game and see all the endings. You actually have to replay the game. But they do offer New Game Plus and all that if you really feel like going through and seeing all of them.
How many hours did it take?
It took me about 7 hours, but if I didn't have to do a bunch of stuff to try to upgrade all my weapons, it would have been a much shorter game, I think.
Yeah.
Plus, they also have little things where there's like wave defense, and you can make those harder with all these little there's like totems where you activate it to make enemies do certain things. Like certain ones will make enemies randomly reflect damage or like drop grenades when they die or just like crazy stuff.
Skulls in Halo.
Yes, it's exactly like Skulls in Halo, where it's like this is added challenge and it does add to your score.
Sure.
So they had stuff like that for if you just totally dominated the game and you're looking for a challenge. There was always that. So overall, probably about 87 point like
451.
No, not quite. I'm going over the 5 barrier. I think I'm saying like 921.
Ooh,
921.
Yes. So 87.921 on Bastion overall.
Very cool. The voice actor that we were in question is Logan Cunningham. He's done nothing else.
He did amazing.
He did nothing else but this game. He joked that his narration was sort of like Ron Perlman in the Fallout franchise.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But just not, obviously, fully, he was completely narrating everything in this. Well, Ron Perlman in the Fallout franchise narrates parts, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very little, but you do notice him. In Fallout, you do notice him. Logan works. He's an actual employee of Supergiant Games.
Okay.
So, which is a very small company.
Did you actually find some info on Supergiant?
They have their own website.
Okay.
I'm not sure where my source is for this, but I was like reading up like if I want to buy this game or not, and I came across like where the developers said that when they first made the game, they were just intending that to be like a one-hit wonder and then like make nothing after that. They didn't even know how far it would go.
Yeah.
But with the fan base that they claimed for that game and just how many people enjoyed playing it,
they're gonna do some kind of sequel or spiritual successor.
They were kind of talking about maybe making a sequel.
Okay.
With the game.
Yeah, they've gotten a fair bit of success with it.
I would be very interested if they have enough money to put enough time in to make a substantial game, like a full-length game.
Yeah.
Then I would be definitely interested in it. I could see them doing really good stuff with it.
Very, very, very cool. I guess that was Bastion, and I guess technically kind of like a B+.
Yeah, I would put it at B+. It was very good for when it lasted.
You said 87.921?
Yes, 87.921.
Very cool. You can get that on the Xbox Live Arcade and on Windows July 20th. It doesn't say Steam on here, though.
Oh.
It says digital download on
I do
Windows.
know for a fact it's available on Steam, though, because that's where I bought it.
For 1,200 Microsoft points.
Which
Microsoft Fun points.
No, I think we can just say Microsoft points.
I'm pretty sure
it's not a currency.
15 fun dollars on Steam.
Yeah, because it's 1,200 Microsoft points. So.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you'd probably be 15 fun dollars on Windows also.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm just adding that. That was in addition to what you're stating.
Translating.
I just wanted to say fun dollars.
Okay.
Almost top or almost bottom of the hour. To be really quick, I guess there's not that much to say about it. But Mass Effect 3's multiplayer finally got like detailed.
Yes.
Because at first they said there was going to be multiplayer, and then people were like, "No, we don't want this game to turn into like a Halo type thing." And so they said there wasn't going to be multiplayer, and now they said it's back. But what they're saying it is actually sounds interesting. It's going to be basically like a Gears of War or Halo firefight mode, where it's going to be survival based, and you actually get to pick your like any race, I guess. So I don't know if that's going to include even like the non-combat races.
It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, it sounds it does sound very fun and like slightly unique, which would be cool. But I do not want a Mass Effect deathmatch because that would be very lame to me.
I think BioWare sort of knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a limb and say what I've seen out of Star Wars, they aren't going to screw this one up.
Okay. I'm just afraid of what they'll do to try to gain more universal appeal. Because, I mean, games like Mirror's Edge, there was, like, in Mirror's Edge, I recently found this out, actually, which was, like, it was a free-running game. There wasn't going to be any guns. You could never use a gun, but because the company who made it was owned by EA said they weren't going to publish the game unless there was gunfight in it. Like, unless they allowed you to take the guns and use them, it wasn't going to be published. So they had to put that in, and it actually made the game worse, I would say. Just the very option of picking up guns ruined a part of the game.
Yeah, I just like the fact that they have an achievement to go through the game without a gun.
Yeah.
It's like a little stick it to you.
Rundown from BioWare, this is part of their quote. Success in multiplayer has a direct impact on the outcome of the single-player campaign, giving players an alternative method to achieving the ultimate victory against the greatest threat mankind and the entire galaxy has ever faced.
Well, that sounds very cool, actually, then.
You players can choose from a variety of classes and races, form an elite special forces squad with, obviously, your friends, combine their weapons, powers, and abilities to a devastating effect as they fight together to liberate key territories from enemy control. Very cool.
That sounds very interesting. Hopefully they'll figure out how to do that properly.
And if they do, land support, I mean, hopefully they'll make it as cool as they can. No competitive multiplayer. Co-op missions are completely optional, but they're all tied into the campaign. It's pretty
Very cool. I do like
cool.
that a lot, actually.
Yep.
I was surprised. At first, when I saw the headline, I was a little worried, but it sounds like they're handling it properly.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do our giveaway because it is the bottom of the hour. It is 5:30 p.m. What we do here on 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming is we give away a gift certificate to Tech Lounge here in Stevens Point, Wisconsin. After the song, you'll hear their address and their
Can we say the value of it?
The value of it's $10 fun.
Okay, I don't know. I was just checking.
Oh, yeah, but $10 fun gift certificate,
which you'll notice is actually up from recent times where it was only $5 fun. So we're moving up in the world.
What we do is we play a song and you tell us the name of the game it's from. This one, we would like you to be slightly specific, but not too outrageously specific.
Yeah, it's because it's reused in the game.
Yeah,
so we can't be incredibly specific.
You've heard this song in multiple games. Yep. Slightly transformed from each one to the next one. If you know it, you can, if you want to, or you don't have to. You can give us a call at 715-346-2696. We don't take the answers over Facebook anymore because we don't have a timestamp. We can't tell you who was first to get the prize. If you've won a prize this month, you cannot win another one. We're sorry.
Well, we're not 100% sure how it's going to work out, though. I say, well, you know what? Don't call back. Never mind.
Just have your friend call.
Negate it.
Yeah. If you're sitting there and you know the answer,
just
have your friend
feed answers to friends.
And you can even lie to us with your name.
Just like put on a fake voice or like use the Darth Vader voice changer through the phone or something like that.
I'm John Smith. So the previous two winners of this contest this month, and we've had 3 winners overall. I don't think we actually said the answer from the previous week.
We didn't, which I felt bad about.
Was the GoldenEye Dam level.
Yes.
So GoldenEye from the Nintendo 64. The one before that was a Mega Man 2 theme, and the first song we played was Pokemon Gold with the Lance theme when you battle him at the end.
I can't believe how quickly that one got answered. That was a very specific one to start off with, and someone was just like, boom, it's Lance.
Yeah, they knew it right away, and that was just Pokemon Gold Silver, Lance. I'm like, wow, I was not expecting. We picked a fairly hard one for the first one.
Definitely.
But Mega Man 2 was answered extremely quickly, like the second or third caller, and the GoldenEye one was the second caller, because the first person answered incorrectly, and then, So this one, you give us a call, 715-346-2696 with your answers. And then we'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes. So good luck to all of you. 715-346-2696. You're listening to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming here on 90 FM, your only alternative
for gaming.
90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming is brought to you by
The Tech Lounge, offering the world's best next-generation and retro game systems, along with great-tasting Fairtrades coffee, espresso, jet smoothies, and energy drinks. Open Tuesday through Saturday, noon to midnight, Sunday, 2 p.m. till 10, and closed on Monday.
Located at 1036 Main Street in downtown Stevens Point.
Visit them at the web at www.techloungesp.com. The Tech Lounge, where the future is yesterday.
It's a modern age arcade.
90 terabytes of alternative gaming is brought to you by Gaming Generations in Stevens Point, located at 135 Division Street. Phone number 715-254-9990.
Gaming Generations features new releases and a wide selection of used games. They also have the classics you grew up with and the know-how to get your console up and running again.
That's Gaming Generations in Stevens Point, your source for gaming.
Hello and welcome back to 90 Terabytes. We had a little bit of some technical issues there. Caught me off guard.
Really, computer.
Thanks. We're sliding the computer over here because I'm still in the process of getting the Humble Bundle, actually. So I'm going to be multitasking. But yes, you're listening to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming. Welcome back. Dear Mark, could you hand me my credit card off the floor?
No.
We are a video game talk show. Yes. We talk about all sorts of things related to video games. I already went over the listy thingy thing that we do.
These views are purely our own. They don't
Just
reflect
us.
anybody else anywhere at all in all existence ever. They don't reflect the radio station you're currently listening to, which is WWSP and 90 FM. They don't reflect the UW Board of Regents, UW Stevens Point, the state of Wisconsin, Scott Walker, Adam Smith,
Adam Sandler,
Bjork.
George Foreman, any of George's kids, all named George. George 1, George 2, George 3, George 4, George 5.
Michael Moore.
Yeah.
Obama.
Yeah. Nobody else. These opinions are purely our own. The host you're currently listening to, this is Q here in the air chair as host numero uno, co-host number A.
Dos?
No, you're A.
Oh, yeah,
we're
both being the first. I
yeah,
like
that's
that.
what we did in our first shows because
Okay.
we weren't sure who was in charge.
Yes. Well, I'm Taylor as host A, and our two guests.
I'm host 2.
No, you are not.
And then
Shenanigans.
He
Well,
can
you
give
are
himself
almost honorary host at this point. You've been
Yeah,
here
this
now.
is like your third show.
Well, I'm host awesome. So.
Oh, whoa.
That starts with an A.
How has no one been gold host yet? I remember that always being it.
I'm the golden gun.
I'm DJ Infinity.
Okay, but you're listening to 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming. We're a video game talk show. We talk about video games, video game companies, video game people, video game hosts, video game history, video game everything. And we just had our song giveaway, a little thing with the Tech Lounge, and Mr. Danny Hendrickson won that.
Yes.
Listener.
The song was
Super Mario World 2, which was Yoshi's Island.
the
I think
athletic
there were
theme.
Few callers, but a few people got it wrong. It was a fairly hard one. The people we were showing it to beforehand did not know. So, yeah.
It's an awfully specific one to know. It is definitely a difficult one.
It wasn't the highest selling Super Nintendo game. It wasn't.
It was an awesome game, though.
No.
I mean, it's actually.
I think it's on the list of all the
well.
games. I think it's on the top 10 list. But
Well, I mean, it's a Mario game.
Yeah.
It's very rare that it's really bad Mario game comes out.
Is there one?
Was the
Mario Tennis?
No,
Did
those
you
were
guys
fun.
like the RPG one?
I
Super
love
Mario RPG was awesome.
Yeah, that was great, and so was Paper Mario and Paper Mario 2.
I was too little to like
Strikers?
understand.
That was a blast.
Yeah,
I
the
played
soccer
it
game
once,
was
and it
cool.
was awesome.
Well, we came to the conclusion that there's no bad Mario games. If you think there's a bad Mario game, like us on Facebook and then yell at us saying, this was a bad Mario game.
Golf?
Mario
I think
Golf
that was
was
good
pretty
too.
Just
fun.
golf, though.
Yeah.
You have to like golf, I guess.
But I mean, if you're going to buy it in the first place, you had to like golf.
That's true.
But 90 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming on Facebook. We're not affiliated with Facebook in any way. We're not affiliated with Google. We're not affiliated with anybody on the internet. Everything we're affiliated with ourselves as an entity. Yep. So moving on to the next story we have on our gigantic list of stories.
Starting off this part, we're gonna do our Minecraft corner. We always try to do that.
Corner.
Ruined now, but we only have a little bit. But coming up for the next update, we're gonna have a new world. It smells like burning in here.
Yeah, something smells like it's on fire.
I'm sure it's outside. We'll just if the show goes off randomly, that's because we're running for our lives. But for the current update, it's been announced that there's gonna be another dimension, and it's currently being called the Ender. Yeah. Or Ender, is it called Ender World? I've seen it called Ender.
I don't know. Maybe,
okay.
Maybe just Ender.
But the biggest thing that's coming with it, we're gonna have a bunch of Ender stuff, I guess, because we already have Endermen, and we're gonna have Ender Dragons, which looks crazy. It's basically a gigantic black dragon with, I think, like deep purple eyes.
And you know what Notch already did, or I don't know, one of the developers at Mojang, they released like the ability for users to create textures for them already.
For the dragons?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, that's one way to announce that you're having dragons.
Users are already making dragons for their texture packs, which is pretty sweet.
Awesome, yeah. I'm actually going to try. I haven't really made too many textures, but if I could make my own dragon texture, that would be incredibly fun. We haven't really found out what's on fire, so we're assuming it's not in here.
Outside. I think it's a campfire.
We're hoping we're not burning down.
No, there's the smell's only in the room in the hallway there.
Cookout.
Yes, somebody's having a cookout.
Awesome. I now have the Humble Frozen Bite Bundle too.
How many are we up to for the? I believe there's less than 20 minutes left.
Yeah, 28. There are currently. Let's see. There are 18 minutes left. And they are at 230,914
So you got
bundles sold.
like 19 minutes to get 3 awesome games.
Do it.
Maybe. Oh, actually, you get 3 awesome games no matter what, but you get up to 8. So
you can get up to 8.
How did you get up to 8?
If you get over
exceeded the average, which I think
I did.
Yeah,
with the $5.
$5 fun dollars.
$5. Why are we saying fun dollars?
You can't say the value of things.
Oh,
the beauty of being nonprofit.
The best currency ever.
Fun, yeah.
Yeah, plus regular money is boring.
Right.
I mean, what kind of money doesn't become better by adding fun to it?
Fun
euros. Fun rubles.
Did you know that the Minecraft user fan base has exceeded the population of Sweden?
Really?
It's pretty cool. Well, Sweden's where the game's from.
Which is where the game's from, so Minecraft Army.
Yeah,
Minecraft Army.
That's pretty cool.
That is nuts.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
But it's gotta feel good as not.
We had a listener review of the brand new Minecraft 1.9 update, which is not technically out yet. We're still at 1.81. He says practically. This is a quote from Mr. David Bruns, who stated we can say his name on the air. He stated that he had to upgrade his new version to the new versions of Java. So he's going to make a new review, and this is his review. Practically, it's the additions that are very useful, but they're hard to get used to. The new potion system is amazing, but the levels are fun but useless. Hardcore is fun, as a fun challenge, which I'm enjoying. The Ender is an interesting place that I've been wanting to explore, but the item that is needed to explore it because the portal's broken, I don't believe we can go into the Ender yet. Within the pre-release number 3.
That makes sense.
The update so far, as I have to say, is completely amazing for what I have done so far, Mr. David Bruns, a listener.
Well, I mean, there really hasn't been a bad update yet. There's never been a time where he updated it and people have been truly upset, except for, what was it? There was one thing that just kept killing everybody.
Levels people were upset about.
Levels? I never actually heard too much flack about that.
Squidwards.
Yeah.
I love this.
You dang Squidwards.
They're everywhere.
Don't be a Squidward.
Yeah, that's one thing that I didn't like about this new update.
Yeah, just the placeholders. Can't do anything in the village.
It's his game. He can make... Yeah. No, I'm talking about the characters look like.
Oh. Yeah.
I didn't like that.
That's strange.
Yeah. Why not? All the characters, if you know SpongeBob, obviously you know what we're talking about. Yeah. One of the main characters in SpongeBob is Squidward, SpongeBob's neighbor, who's always a Debbie Downer about pretty much everything.
But he plays the clarinet, which is an awesome instrument.
Yeah, he doesn't play it very well.
Yeah.
He only had one episode where he played it really well, and that's because he was using SpongeBob's hands.
Oh, I do remember that.
I've never seen
that.
But
yeah, all the characters in Minecraft look like Squidward that aren't you. Why not make them look like you?
Exactly.
You get confused.
What world are the characters that you're playing coming from?
Hey, we could be visiting a strange land.
Maybe we're from the Nether.
Maybe there's going to be an Atlantis patch,
deep.
and those are just a
mind blowing right there. Just blew your minds out there.
I'm gone.
Scuba suit Minecraft.
Minecraft comes out on November 11th of 2011, so this year, November 11th. It's been out for about, I think, 2 years in alpha and beta.
It's coming up to 2.
So technically we get to review it, and it could be the game of this year if we wanted to, but Skyrim and Battlefield 3 are taking it for a running, it looks like.
Though just for raw innovation, I don't think you can really beat Minecraft.
No, it's already we had been asked a while ago to give us a list of all of our favorite games, and we'll eventually do that. I think probably in December or January.
Once we've gotten past all the big games that are coming out this year.
We're probably going to spend a whole episode on Skyrim, we'll spend a whole episode on Battlefield 3 and Modern Warfare, and a whole episode on Minecraft.
Though that might be a bad idea, because what if we're enjoying those games so much at the time that those make it onto the list, but their lasting value is lower than we thought?
That's why we're going to do it later in January.
I thought you said December.
That's how
January,
you win
December.
Awards.
January work, huh?
That's how you win awards, like Emmys and all that. You put them at the end of the year so that they're fresh in people's minds.
Well, yeah, that's why they win Oscars. That's why it's Oscar
season. Yep.
You see all these Oscar-related movies, and video games do that too. When there's a lot of the big video game awards, the Spike Video Game Awards, big games.
Those are such bad.
I know,
the
but
Spike
that's
one
why
is like the worst thing I ever saw.
That's why there are 2 reasons Spike Awards are around when these big games come out. Not only is it Christmas time, but it's this, and so it's fairly big.
Yes.
So,
and then we got one more review actually for the show.
We have another review.
And we have it on our Facebook, so Q is going to have to bring this to you.
Yes.
But this is from one of our regular commenters on Defacing Books, Chris Ramlow. Yes. He's talking about a game called Mercury HG, the sequel to a game simply called Mercury.
I was going to open it on Wikipedia and talk about the game.
Oh, no, I was going to have you do it off there because the computer's no longer in my hands.
I can see that now. But Mercury HD is this is a quote from Mr. Chris Ramlow. The player-controlled stage, which shifted, you move a blob of mercury around. So it's similar to the board game Labyrinth, or the game where you have the little balls and they fall in the holes.
Yep, where you have to tilt the board around to make them roll around.
And basically, your objective is to keep as much of the mercury on the board at the end as possible.
Yep. Which it's interesting because most of these games are kind of all or nothing. It's like the whole ball goes off or not. Whereas with this, like you can, if you take a turn too wide, like some of your mercury will spill off, but you're still okay. You're still there.
Yeah. The original Mercury game was released in 2005 for the PSP. So basically, this is his review. There's a surprising core amount of content packed into the core game. 60 levels to play, a replay for completion and extra levels. The extra levels are broken down into bonus levels and challenge levels. The bonus levels are a collection of 20 levels with a new mechanic of building up a small ball of mercury into a full blob. So you do the exact opposite. If one drop of mercury falls from the level, you have to start over with some of the challenge levels. If you fail one level of the stage, you must restart from the first level in the group. So that's pretty challenging. Yeah. So you get to the last stage, you lose, you have one life, you do it all over again. I drew the line here for the experience for his game. He talks, despite the bone-crushingly hard difficulty at the end, I enjoyed 7 hours playing through Mercury HD. It was fun to see how the developer would use their tools to create the next level to play, and it was satisfying to complete a set of levels flawlessly. The game also presents itself nicely as an arcade game, but I'm afraid it may be overlooked by some as just a cheap arcade game. If you want to try out the game, there's a demo on the Xbox Live Arcade and the PlayStation Network for completely free. Chris Ramlow gives it an 81.975 out of 100, so a B-.
We're sticking in the 80s a lot.
There's a lot of but a lot of games.
Yeah, you did go over it.
Yeah, there's a lot of games that are. Well, our review for Portal was, I think, 89.
What? For Portal 2?
I mean, 98.
No, yeah, I was about to say, we gave it like way higher than that.
Dyslexic numbers there, sorry.
Lysdexia.
But he also put a little quip on the bottom about a review for Duke Nukem Forever. Our Duke Nukem Forever score, a long time ago, we reviewed Duke Nukem Forever. I'm trying to scroll down.
Got a shiny score.
Wasn't it negative?
No, it was for our show? No, we can't.
No,
we don't
gave
allow
it
that.
A really low
we
score,
have stringent standards here. But the score was, I think, a 22.194, something like that.
I'm trying to scroll back for our score.
Oh, our score. Apparently, no one in the station believes that we have standards.
We gave it a 14.7 out of 100.
So actually, they got a better review out of Chris.
Yeah,
Chris is a generous reviewer.
22.465 out of 100.
And not just that, he specifically states it's a very shiny 22.
Yes. His exact quote is Duke Nukem Forever gets a shiny 22.465 out of 100. He says he will never actually write a review for the following game, but it's nice to have the opinion of the score.
Yeah.
So thank you, Mr. Chris Ramlow, for your review of Mercury HD and your review of Duke Nukem Forever.
It's HG, by the way.
That's what I thought it said that.
Oh, I thought you said HD. Sorry. Those are hard to understand the difference between.
Well, HG is the,
Yeah, it's the sign for Mercury.
Yeah. For those out there who know how to learn a little bit of chemistry.
All the non-Dmitry Mendeleevs out there. He's the guy who made the table, by the way.
I know that, but we're too much science. Too much science. So, yeah.
The nerd is high in here.
What is next on our Story of Stories?
Well, this is going to be mostly you, because I don't know if either of you guys have downloaded this, because maybe you have pride in what's on your computer. Q, because he was doing the Battlefield 3 beta, had to use Origin, and there have been complaints about Origin out the wazoo. They are everywhere, and most of them are very, very legitimate complaints. I've read tons of stories about people just losing games, and the customer service from Origin is nothing.
Yeah,
it is like they will just basically not answer
you. It was horrible. It was actually horrible. I'm trying to open up some of these stories from a few people.
I remember one where I don't think the person actually got to say anything. I think it was they connected to it, and the person on there disconnected right after they said their question. They were like, "This is the problem I'm having. Disconnect."
Yeah, this one, this is partial transcript. I'm obviously not going to read it, but he owns Battlefield 2, Battlefield 2142. He has the CD keys for both the games. He states if he can get them added to Origin. And his exact statement was, then how do I access games that I purchased before September 2009 through the EA store, or am I out of luck using Origin? Origin will not allow you to redeem those codes.
Right. Yes, so any games that you had before that you're using through, I think it was just called store. EA, what was it, EA Store was what it was called before? Yeah. Okay. And, like, you could play them before on that, but then the EA Store doesn't exist anymore. Origin is taken over,
and the Origin
and you lost all those games.
So if you own games on the EA Store and you haven't looked at them, and yelled at them for this, you're never going to get them back.
Yeah, they're all gone.
You're never going to get them back.
I'm sorry, sir.
Even though you may even own the CD keys for these games, they will never allow you to download them. That's not good.
No, that's just absolutely brutal. I don't understand it.
Origin also gave me my password back in plain text. That was real nice of them. That was real nice. So, I mean, I entered my password and it was like, wow, it's right there. The whole thing. And my password's like 23 characters and numbers and characters long. So seeing a bunch of exclamation points and letters and numbers was not a good sign. Yeah. I was not happy with that at all. That it was not fun. What Battlefield 3, like I had mentioned last week, what it did is when I installed Battlefield 3, it said I installed Battlefield 3 inside Origin. It says you must have Origin installed to play this. I was inside Origin.
I was trying to download Battlefield 3 too, the beta for it.
Same problem.
And
then I tried to open it, and then it said you have to have Origin installed to open this game.
And I gave up because I had to go to work.
I closed it, opened it, restarted my computer, and then it allowed me in, and then it opened the battle log, which it doesn't. Battlefield 3 doesn't even open in Origin. It opens inside your web browser.
Yeah.
For all your servers, and then it said we cannot connect to your Origin account, even though it said my name in the top corner. I was logged in. Of course. We cannot connect to your Origin account. Wow. So I'm sitting there, okay, so I log out, do it again, and it opened up, and so then I click open the game inside the battle log, and then it said we cannot connect to your Origin account again. After the game was open then, it still couldn't connect. So basically, I experienced every fault of Origin in the process of 30 minutes.
And the thing is, like, that's not that rare. It seems like everyone who's using it, it's more of a minority of people who don't experience problems. Everybody seems to be having very glaring issues trying to use Origin. And I can only pray that Origin performing this poorly will make them put it on Steam, because I don't know if I'm going to buy the game if it's not on Steam. Just because I don't want to go through all this, and it doesn't sound worth it to me at all. But I mean, if they're making it go to battle log from it, I don't know how well that will work.
Oh yeah, and
with
you can't buy games in Puerto Rico.
Why?
Because it defaults to the Spain servers, and you can't put things in euros because the official currency of Puerto Rico is the American dollar.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. So you can't buy stuff on Origin from Puerto Rico, and I'm pretty sure that would apply to all the Virgin Islands and etc. too. There are many games that they do, automatically put on there for you, like if you own Spore and they wanted Spore on there. But these were the huge games that were the big money makers, so the games that weren't, the games they integrated into it, like Neverwinter Nights and stuff, you can't either. So when they integrated the BioWare servers into Origin, you couldn't get those games either. And so I know I lost those games because I had Neverwinter Nights and Neverwinter Nights 2. Can't play those anymore on there because I had them built into there, and I don't have those codes anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's supposed to be the purpose of having these digital services. You don't have to, keep track of a CD case where you have a CD key and hope to God that that's actually the right one. Because, I mean, things get mixed up when you have to store it, and you're supposed to be able to be like, okay, I just have it, stored on digital records. I should be fine. But EA instead chooses to apparently use that as some form of, update where they just wipe everything below it out, which is totally ridiculous. I don't get it.
That's pretty horrible.
Oh, yeah, it's
like stealing money.
Well, yeah, and it's not like they're making a bunch of money out of it. All it is making your customer base unhappy. That's the only thing that results out of that.
And here's another thing is what they do is the people who make their voice heard and complain about it a lot and get to the top of Reddit. EA contacted that guy, sent him a copy of Alice Madness Returns, gave him a 20% discount on Battlefield 3 just to placate him, and didn't fix the problem at all.
So the problem just send back the copy of Alice.
It almost had a couple thousand upvotes on Reddit, They didn't fix the problem. They just placated the guy who made the problem known.
Well, that's all you have to do. You just have to shut the guy up.
Exactly. And so he's down here.
I make a good
he's saying,
service.
oh, so what have I learned? If I voice my complaints, I will get someone to notice, and then EA will have someone really nice. No, they're placating you, sir. They're giving you the stuff to make you not complain.
Yep.
And the customer service was horrible for you. I remember reading this guy's article, and now he has a repost of it. No, EA is not actually doing that. Yeah. But anyway, moving on.
So wait, do you have Origin off your computer now then, since the beta ended? Why? Get rid of it.
Once I sign the terms of agreement, they have control over whatever I gave them.
Did you get access to? Have you actually played Battlefield 3 yet?
Yeah, we had talked about it on the last show.
Oh.
It's
okay.
pretty amazing.
What did you think of it?
I didn't. Like I said, I didn't get it to work, so I just gave up on it because I had to go to work. This was the other day. I'm very interested. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, it was really fun. If you got a good server, there was no lag at all.
And the game was just beautiful. Even on Xbox, where the graphics were dumbed down a bit, it was really good looking.
I couldn't figure out how to change my graphics settings in Origin. I spent forever looking through all the options, and there was nothing to change for graphics settings, because what it is, Battlefield 3 opens to the browser, so I don't have the capability of changing my settings.
Yeah.
So wait, you never found out how to do it?
No.
Really?
It looked absolutely beautiful in the first place. There was no question that I was like, oh, wow, this is the most pixelated thing in the world. No. I threw a grenade and I knocked down a tree. I'm like, yeah, that looked beautiful. I saw some videos of people just smashing jets into trees just to see what it would look like. I probably will do that, too. There's a tank there. I don't need to fly around anymore.
No, first off, I've seen someone actually do that. I saw a video where someone had a vehicle that they were running up to heal, and someone flying in a jet hopped out of the jet and let the jet just fly into the vehicle and blow it up, and then parachuted down. It was insane.
I feel like you could get really creative with the way you...
Oh, you can. I've also, all of the jet fighting is crazy. Like, there was a guy, he flew up to a guy to take out, another jet.
Yeah.
And instead of fighting him in the jet, he hopped out and pulled out his rocket launcher and shot him from his parachute and took down the plane. Just annihilated him. It was really crazy. All of the jet fighting is really cool, except I didn't get to play it at all.
Does it maintain at 60 frames per second or 30?
It was beautiful on my computer.
Okay.
I never had frame rate issues. When I played on bad servers, there was some, bad, events that happened. But I only played on bad servers for a little while until I noticed, wow, this sucks. But another thing I noticed, I was able to play on Xbox Live servers on my computer.
Wow.
I obliterated everybody.
Yeah. They have integration with the Xbox Live.
Nobody said a thing.
Yeah.
I think it was a glitch because it said on the battle log,
like deterrent from
Xbox players?
From Xbox players.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. There's a reason they're not doing cross-platform for a competitive shooter, because it's not competitive anymore at that point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I was very surprised because I went in there and the other servers, there were just people just obliterating me every shot I took. They were just like, I stepped out dead. I go on the Xbox Live servers, I'm like, I'm not getting shot.
I'm a god among men.
Yeah, it was. I really loved it. I cannot wait to play it. I probably will be buying it, which is a lot to say because I was not going to.
Do you plan on buying if it is only on Origin?
Oh, we forgot to mention that it's really cheap right now.
Oh, yes. On Amazon, it's down to $41 for some reason.
They do that. I love Amazon, personally.
Yep. We don't endorse them, though.
Yes.
Just on a personal level, enjoy it.
Just emotionally, I care for them.
I guess.
Well, I guess it's back up to $65.
No, I missed my shot.
Yep, it was down to $40 for a little while. But
at least you got the Humble Bundle.
Yes. I got the Humble Bundle with like 10 minutes to spare.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening to 90 terabytes of alternative gaming here on 90 FM, your only alternative.
Fuck gaming.
You could.
I'll say it every time. It doesn't matter if the show's ending.
You like us on Facebook. That would be fantastic. You can like 90 FM on Facebook also, WWSP 90 FM. We're 90 terabytes of alternative gaming. Thank you for listening. We, I think all four of us are going to be at the Tech Lounge.
Possibly. I don't know if you guys made a decision.
I know me and Taylor are going
tentatively.
to be.
Tentative. But never give a straight answer.
Yes. But thank you for listening to 90 terabytes. We hope you really loved our show. If you didn't, you can voice your complaints on our Facebook page also.
Yes.
Tell us how we can be better or be worse.
I'll complain about myself.
Talk more about
your guest was terrible today.
All he talked about was Dark Souls. Ugh.
Yes. But yes, thank you for listening. I'm going to play another song off this Kraftwerk awesome album with Computer World. another song that I really, really love from Kraftwerk. So here is Computer World by Kraftwerk. Thank you for listening to
Remixed by 8-Bit Operator, I think was what it was.
Firestarter.
Oh, Firestarter.
It's up in capital letters. I had no idea what was going on. But yes, so thank you for listening to 9 Terabytes of Alternative Gaming here on 90 FM, your only alternative.
Para Video Wiggles.